Okay, go.
I'm Sarah Witherington. Okay, have you ever been frustrated by just the inconsistent and bad eating habits that you may have always had, or especially in college? I know this is a hard thing to do. Consistency is really hard in college with eating well and having good meal times, and so I know that y'all are probably frustrated to some extent. And then when you're fed up with how you've been eating, you go to the other extreme, which is like kind of being obsessive about meal plans and counting calories and stuff like that. While these meal plans may help you lose weight, they are very hard to maintain, especially as a college student. I know. And oftentimes you cheat. So like the late night ice cream, or you don't want to miss out on what your friends are doing. So you constantly feel defeated. So I'm here today to help you be encouraged that there is another way to eat in college. I'm going to summarize 3 meal plans and then talk about the pros and cons of both. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of summarize those and use that information to help you personalize a meal plan for yourself. So let's begin by talking about 3 meal plans in particular. Kristen Key, she's an author of the Gale Encyclopedia of Diets, she investigates a lot of meal plans, but I'm going to talk about 3 that she mentions. So the first one is ketogenic diet, and I'm sure y'all have heard of keto. Its main focus is to reduce carbs and increase the intake of fats. So their focus is 75% fats, 20% protein, and then only 5% carbs. So it's really strict. The second one is Whole30. This is a very short-term diet. So its main focus is for 30 days you're going to eat wholly. It really focuses on completely cutting out foods and giving you specific foods that you can eat. And there's a Whole30 recipe book and things like that. Another thing that they do is you document your improvements. So it's very you take pictures of before and after, you document what you're eating, things like that. The third one is Weight Watchers. And this is very community based. So you are with the community and it's based on a point system. So things with a lot of protein in them are less points, and so that leaves you with more things that you can eat. So if you have something with a lot of sugar, that might be one of the only things you can eat for that day. So the less points you have, the better. And then there's also coaching throughout the whole process. So with your subscription, you'll have coaching stuff. Okay, so now that you have a general idea of what meal plans I'm talking about, let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of them. Pierre and McCarthy, 2 scholars that I particularly got information from, both talk about modest benefits to meal plans. So one disadvantage is that you have to follow it to a T. You have to follow the meal plan exactly right, and it's not practical. So you really kind of dread having to eat a whole grain piece of bread again. That's just not very practical. Or having to buy chicken and vegetables and all these things, and as a college student, we just don't have the budget for that. The second disadvantage is it can only be sustained for a short amount of time. So these meal plans are here to help you lose weight or create better eating habits, but they're not supposed to be followed until you die. They're not sustainable for that long. And then the third thing is they oftentimes create obsessive eating habits. So eating disorders often come out of these, and you start kind of obsessing over counting calories and counting points from Weight Watchers. So while it may seem that meal plans are bad, there are also several things that Kristen Key in particular, I mentioned her earlier, proves that are beneficial about meal plans. So 3 advantages are they do help you lose weight, so I did mention that. So they teach you how to cut out foods that are really unhealthy for you, and just think about your portion size. So you're not eating 3 cheeseburgers in a sitting, or they just help you think about those things. The second thing is it forms clean eating habits. So you're going to start to crave. Your cravings will change, and like you won't snack throughout the day. So instead of like when you have like a sweet tooth or like a sweet craving, you're not going to eat a whole Hershey bar. You're going to eat, okay, maybe I should eat just a little piece of Dove chocolate that's like dark chocolate because it's more healthy for you. Or like you can still eat like chocolate and stuff, but just in a smaller serving size and in a healthier form. The third advantage is it also creates plans for a week. So, well, like week to week. So instead of scrambling and trying to eat like frozen dinners last minute or just scrambling around, they will have a whole week planned out for you. So like, what are you going to eat on Monday? What are you going to eat on Tuesday? So you kind of meal plan it, or meal prep at the beginning of the week. This is what a lot of them have. So now that we have, I have summarized 3 meal plans and then talked about the pros and cons of them, I'm going to conclude my speech by talking about ways that that you can make a meal plan for yourself that is convenient. So I have 3 steps that will probably be helpful for y'all to think about. The first step is just set a lot of goals. So set like 2 goals a week. So at the beginning of the week, say I'm going to eat breakfast every single day this week, or I'm going to have only 2 snacks a day or something like that. That will help you be in the mindset of, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to try to just eat better, and like you will feel better if you set these goals. The second thing is take what you're already eating and transform it 1 meal at a time. So let's just start with breakfast. So say you eat Fruity Pebbles every single day, like that is your breakfast meal. Start thinking about, okay, maybe I'm going to replace that with Honey Nut Cheerios. That is a better option. And then once you get comfortable with that, then replace it with a piece of bread with peanut butter on it. And, you know, I like to put bananas on top of mine too. I know some people think that's weird, but so just transforming it more and more until you get to a place where you feel healthy with your breakfast and comfortable. And like find foods that you like too. That was my third point. Find foods that you enjoy, and like don't eat just like a whole grain piece of bread because that is the healthy thing to do. Like find things that you really enjoy eating. And then once you've gotten your breakfast down, then you can move towards lunch. And then you'll get to a routine where you know what you like, you're eating well, you're still eating like little pieces of chocolate, you know, like you don't have to completely cut out sugar and sweets and all that. So in conclusion, I've summarized 3 meal plans, talked about the pros and cons, and I've given you some food for thought of just how you can transform your eating habits and your daily diet without having to panic and count calories and go to the other extreme. So I encourage you to go home today and think about what you have in your dorm room or your apartment, and just the next time that you, oh, I have another picture. The next time that you sit down to eat a chocolate donut for breakfast, maybe consider a blueberry muffin. You will seriously feel so much healthier, more energized, and just a lot more in control of your life. So.
All right.